Hello everyone, this is Toby with Birdsong Studios. How are you guys doing today? I hope you all are well. So in the last reading that we did for the 1212 portal, we talked about Mercury retrograde, and actually the Mercury card came up from the Alchemy Oracle during that reading. And so and the time frame of the retrograde beginning on December 13th and then ending on January 1st was very purposeful. So we are back with a reading about Mercury retrograde. And last night, as I was mentally planning or thinking about reflecting on this reading and planning to do it this morning, I felt a note that the Arcturians would come through. I thought actually it might be just my Arcturian guide, but then this morning I woke up to a message from an Arcturian council, and they described themselves as researchers. However, they said that we would recognize the work they do, not totally aligned to this, but more closely aligned to what we define as an astrologer. So I found that to be really, really interesting, very, very interesting. So, and then the message came through about Mercury retrograde, and so they gave me kind of a longer message that I'm going to read to you guys. I channeled this morning, and it's really interesting about the retrogrades and how we can better work with them. So here's that message. Again, this is from the Arcturian Council, the Council of Researchers. The backwards movement of a planet in retrograde is, as you know, not merely a visual illusion, as it carries energetic implications as well. The ability to utilize the energetic space within the construct of time is heightened during these retrograde periods. The difficulty humans have come to associate with retrogrades is from an overall lack of awareness of the amplified effect your energetic impulses create. When a planetary body moves retrograde, the frequencies it expresses, which you know as certain emotional or experiential states, become elongated. It is this elongation which is experienced as delays or difficulties or friction. However, this is because your vibrations around the energetic characteristics of the planet have not changed from the forward moving pattern. To activate the purposeful benefits of the retrograde periods, consciously align your energy to match the amplification of the planet in question. It is through this conscious adjustment you create an elongated wave, one which aligns rather than contrasting with that of the planet. In these longer waveforms, you work alongside the planet in utilizing its frequencies and in creating pockets of time, in quotations, within which you notice the human construct of time does not apply. Minutes, seconds, even hours feel longer. Mercury is offering this time to you now. Will you bump up against the elongated waveforms of energy, or will you utilize the pockets provided with presence and focus? So I found that to be really, really fascinating. I mean, certainly we're aware of that sense of slowing down. However, to look at it from an energetic standpoint and to recognize that that what's happening is not, the purpose of it is not to cause us delays. It's not to cause us friction. It's not to cause us challenge necessarily. But the purpose is to allow us to expand those pockets of time within those characteristics, so we can better, I want to say understand them, but that's not a big enough word for what I'm feeling. It's so that we can more closely align to what those characteristics and what those experiential states are telling us about ourselves and about our personal, individual human experience. So then this is the sigil that came through, and I found this really fascinating because it I didn't realize it until after I was done, but we have all of these short, quick, because they came through quickly. You guys didn't see me draw it or channel it, but they came through very quickly. So we have these short, quick sigils or patterns here, and then we have these elongated, slower moving. There's more space between them. So this is definitely representative of that elongation of our energetic waves, and it allowing us to more readily, the only word I can come up that matches the feeling is manipulate. So we can more readily manipulate the human construct of time. And there was a download that I received, I think it's been a couple of months ago, and it was called Spaces Within Time. And I would be curious, I'm going to have to look afterwards if that came through during a retrograde period. We have had tons of retrogrades, so I'm sure it did. But I'd be curious if it came through a Mercury retrograde in particular, because that's really what they were referring to. This is again an instance in which we have the opportunity to recognize that time is a human construct and to work alongside these planets and giving us this energetic space in which to expand our experience, to actually expand the construct, because it is us who is creating the experience of it, not time creating our experience. Let me say that again. It is us who is creating our experience of time, not time that that is creating our experience, or that is a formation around our experience, boxing us in. That's the visualization I'm getting, is literally moving outside the box in reference to time. So, interesting introduction we have here. All right, so we're going to pull some cards, and go deeper into this particular Mercury retrograde, how we can work with this information energetically, and we'll see if we get a little bit more information on the details of the human aspect. I shouldn't say human aspect of that. The physical aspect of it. We are energy as humans. So I'm going to start with a sip of coffee. It's cold and a little early. Not that early, but it is very cold here today. How are you guys doing? Is it cold there? I suppose it depends on where you are in the world, doesn't it? All right, let me feel into which cards we're going to start with. May be getting, this is the second or third time the galactics have come through for these readings, so we may be getting more of those messages where they come through for guidance in the readings. Okay, so let's see what we need to know about this Mercury retrograde period. And again, they're drawing me to the fact that the solstice occurs on the 21st. I'm actually recording this on the 19th, so it's only 2 days away. Sorry, give me just a second. I'm seeing, they're showing me that the waveform pattern again. I'm not getting a clear picture on that, but it's around the balance of our experience in moving within the the winter seasons, moving within the darkness and the balance of moving within the light. Now, I know it's not an equinox, and that's why I keep kind of hesitating, because I'm trying to get a clear... Okay. Well, I'm going to move on for that, because I'm being guided to move forward. I think it's going to come through more clearly as we move into the reading. West, completion, card number 4. I'm going to do my best to make sure I show you guys each card. And they are so beautiful. So, oh, that's so interesting. We have sacred geometry here in the middle, and the hand is holding a puzzle piece, but within that sacred geometry, it looks like a brain to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's I don't think it is. I think it's just kind of a smoky wave, but what I first saw was a brain. That's really interesting. Okay, let's see what else we have here. But that speaks to that, the balance of balancing Mercury. Okay, let me try to not jump around here. I'm getting several things at the same time. So Mercury is about our... it's about communication. It is very much about even technology. It is fast moving. I don't know if technically it is associated with the element of air, but for me, I always associate it with the element of air. It is a very mental space type energy in a lot of ways. So this feels like that balancing we're being offered here the additional puzzle piece that gives us a bit of completion in understanding how to work with the retrograde periods, especially in regards to Mercury right now. And the balancing of the energetic aspect, as indicated here in the sacred geometry around this smoky type image, but that feels like the mental space, the thought space, right? So balancing out our energetic communication alongside our mental communication, our verbal communication, but in particular where our intentions are going, the thought forms that we have in our mind, how we are interpreting what we are experiencing, the words that we are putting around what we are experiencing, how we are defining our experience to ourselves, because that's going to then inform our next moment, right? And our next moment and our next moment. So if you're defining your experience by bumping up against these elongated waves of energy around the characteristics of Mercury, then that is going to be your experience. But if you are moving in the flow with the change of the energetic characteristics of Mercury, this is that puzzle piece that allows for the completion, so that you are able then to incorporate the information that's available to you within those elongated waves. There's actually information within those pockets that's being offered to us. And I'm getting with the West, I just continue to see a sunset imagery, and this is the darkness aspect that we talk about with the winter solstice. And I know not all of you necessarily are experiencing a winter solstice, but this is where the balance comes in. So wherever you are in the world, allowing that peace then, and the recognition that you have now about the spaces in these waves, the information that's available in these pockets, to... I'm hearing the word educate. That's interesting. Educate you in how best to utilize this time of either greater darkness or greater light. And there's something about I mean, we know the benefits of sun gazing, right? Of being present at sunrise or sunset, but since we have this card of the West, I feel like there's great benefit at this time of being present at sunset, of turning your face towards the sun during sunset to receive. There's so much solar activity going on right now, and there was recently. I'm not sure about the last day. I haven't looked to see if there's anything that's happened in the last 24 hours or so, but I know over the weekend and at the end of last week, man, there were massive solar flares. And so the information available to us through those is still coming to us, honestly. So we, by turning to face the sun, we're able to, it feels like that's an additional puzzle piece for this education that's available to us. And magnetism, attraction. It's very interesting because this is card number 37. When you add it together, that makes 10. 10 is the number of completion, and the number 4 card is stating completion. And this looks like Neptune because it's on its side. Is it Neptune that's on its side, or is it Uranus that's on its side? Why am I having a moment now? I think it's Uranus. No. Oh my gosh. See, that when I'm in the middle of the reading, then my brain doesn't always work in recalling other things. It's doing it. I'm operating differently. But this is what we were talking about with the magnetism and the attraction, and how are you viewing it? How are you viewing this interaction with the planetary movements right now? Are you sitting childlike in acceptance and just opening yourself up to the information they have to offer? That's definitely the invitation here, is to allow that wisdom, that the information, the insight, this education to come through. And I'm feeling not a harsh message, and not really a chiding, but kind of that we have a tendency sometimes to forget. Let's say we have a tendency to forget just how much we don't know. And so there's always an opportunity for us to learn more, and to approach that from a state of childlike curiosity and optimism. I'm hearing even because then being in that state, then what are we attracting towards us? We are attracting in that which is interesting and that which is fascinating, and we are, when we move with a sense of awe and wonder at what is, as let's see, when we move with a sense of awe and wonder towards the potentials available to us, then we are in a state of magnetism, of attracting to us things that are going to be fascinating, things that are going to be really exciting and interesting to us, things that are going to be adding to our expansion and our growth. And I am getting this feeling, this definitely the symbolism of sitting still here. And in the retrograde time, part of Mercury, that it is about that. We talked about slowing down time. So when we take time to slow down, it allows us to move towards that elongated waveform that the Arcturians were telling us about with the retrogrades. it's difficult sometimes as humans for us to slow our energetic frequency down if our physical body is not slowed down as well. So if you're someone who's been practicing that quite a bit, then it may not be difficult for you at all. You may do it with a great sense of ease. But for some of us, that might be very challenging. So in taking a moment of physical quietness and stillness, it allows us to slow our energy down so that we can then consciously and intentionally align our energetic waveforms alongside those of Mercury's in this amplified, elongated state. And it's through that then alignment, that's where the connection point is made, and that's where the clear communication comes through. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, let's see what else. I have the Divine Masters out here, but I'm not. Let's go a little bit deeper with these two things, and let's see. We've got the Father of Swords on the split here, and Temperance. I mean, that's what I was just talking about. Air energy, King of Swords, and Temperance, balancing energies. Being willing to be still, knowing when to move. The King of Swords is very strategic as well. He's a master of the mental space, of the thought space. He's a master of focus and the mental aspect of attraction and magnetism. Very wise and very fair. Very, I see the King of Swords, this energy, especially here as, yes, he is quick to make a judgment call when necessary, to remove something with that sword, to state a truth that may be difficult to hear, but it does not come from a place of malice or aggression even. It comes from a place of equanimity is what I'm hearing, but this place of balance, this place of it is a bit, I am getting a bit of black and white energy, but again, that's what we were talking about to begin with, right? The balance of the dark and the light, the knowing when to move into one energy versus the other. Okay, so we have the rest. Oh no, these are the Four of Wands. I thought it was the Four of Swords at first. We have another four here. The Four of Wands, this creating this a stable foundation. But look at the portal in the middle. Yeah, this one goes over here. Look at how similar it is in the colors, and having this vortex almost in the center with the Four of the West and completion. So there are energetic activations and DNA activations that are coming through at this time as well. We talked about facing the sun, gazing at the sun during sunset in particular. And this is part of the foundation that's being created at this time. This is part of the foundation that underlies the education that we are receiving when we align our waveforms with that of Mercury. All right, let me start over. Here, sorry, that was really loud, guys. I'm sorry. And I almost feel like this portal is actually the solstice. I'm going to do a separate reading on the solstice, but I feel like this is that portal point where Now is the time to be entering into this space, to be working on aligning our energy and our waveforms with that of Mercury, so that we can move, as we move through the portal of the solstice, then we are able to start integrating this information, integrating the activations from the sun. Oh my gosh, the Ace of Cups. Look at how we have the similar colors. I love this card. It's so beautiful. Oops, not straight, not aligned. There we go. Oh, I'm terrible at this. I'm sorry, guys. I'll try to hold it still. Isn't that beautiful? The importance of our emotional experience, and on the other side of this, when we talked about the thought forms and how we're defining our experience. On the other side of this solstice, we're going to find that we have a new beginning, a new offering to ourselves of our emotional experience. This new offering of that is founded in the wisdom and the education we've gained during this time. It is a way of combining, or no, let's see. It is a way of first speaking to ourselves, but of recognizing the thoughts as they come up, and of I'm getting this image of instead of stepping, it's like in each moment, instead of taking a step from the mental space and being led by the mental space, being led by this from an integrated space, but one that is more rooted in your emotions. And in your emotions, it comes from how those feel within your body. Not just this purely, I'm not saying an overly emotional state. I'm saying it's moving forward from this place where you are grounded in your physical body enough that informs your next step. That leads the way in making decisions on where to go. It's not the thought space, because the thought space can be oftentimes, even with a lot of personal work and development and growth and healing, oftentimes the thought space is where the triggers show up first. It might be in the physical too, but that's oftentimes where we first notice it. And so, or where it's the easiest to take over. And so as we've moved through this integrative state, it's having this place of balance where we allow what we're feeling in our body and our emotions to speak to us, to talk to us, and for us to listen to those as our guide, because those are informing us on the energy of situations and decisions as well. Interesting, this Mercury retrograde is in Capricorn. Capricorn is very, very grounded. It's earth energy. It's one of persistence and planning and strategy in a structured way, and perseverance. Did I say that already? I think I did. Being very goal-oriented, but very in touch with the physicality as well. Very in touch with one's physical body. Oh my gosh, and then we have the Empress. And this is going over here, because this is what we're bringing in. We're moving into this state of embodying this divine feminine energy. And it doesn't matter, we're talking about energies, we're not talking about genders here. This is the energy of receiving in. The Empress doesn't seek anything out. The Empress knows that she is deserving of that which she desires. There's no doubt in her mind whatsoever. And she It's not a holding back from taking action, but it's not a chasing after something. It's not a place of wondering when or if that will come to her. It's a place of this deep, deep knowing that she is deserving of it, and it will come to her because she knows that. And that's that magnetism. Oh, I didn't show you the tree. Okay. Let's see what else we have here for magnetism. Oh, no, here's the Father of Swords again. Look at that. Maybe we'll do one more. All right, let me show you these two first. And we talked about the Father of Swords. We talked about, and here's a beautiful combination of divine feminine and divine masculine energies right here on the table. That's that balance, the yin and the yang of the dark and the light, the divine masculine, divine feminine. This is all of the things that we are bringing together at this time, and Mercury retrograde at this time, when we are again syncing our energy alongside these elongated waveforms so that we are able to access the pockets of space which allow us to elongate time, because again, we are the creators of time. There's a whole different experience on the other side of this. A completely different experience on the other side of this. And this is the foundation for it. How interesting. We have the blues and the yellows here, and we have the reds and the purples and the pinks. And that Father of Swords is carrying that sword with all the colors. He has the full expression of it. Fully integrated in the decisions he makes, the moves he makes, what he's communicating. And we have the Moon, card number 18. This goes here. So what's hidden with the Moon? The Moon is about things that are hidden. Okay, so we did just have a new moon in Sagittarius. All right, let's see. So something that may have come up at that time for you is going to help you, or is definitely linked to what you are meant to be educated in during this retrograde time frame. And when I say educated in, it's not again, this is not a harsh energy behind that. This is not a you've done something wrong and so you must be educated. It's about offering additional information. Five of Cups. This is showing you where you have not been in Empress energy. This is showing you where you're coming from, where you have come from a place of lack, and where those emotions reside in your body, where those thought forms, when they come up, what triggers them. And in this awareness, this is what is hidden by the Moon. The Moon is about things that are hidden. The Moon is also associated with the sign of Pisces, and I think we have 3 planets in Pisces right now. We have Neptune, we have Saturn, and I believe we have Jupiter in Pisces. Is Jupiter in Pisces? Am I wrong about that? I think it is. And they're in retrograde. Saturn's not in retrograde. But I think Neptune retrograde just ended. Jupiter retrograde is going to end on December 31st. Okay, so we're also talking about the energies of Jupiter and Neptune as well here. And looking at Neptune is about, Jupiter is about expansion and growth. It is about amplification. And Neptune can be, is associated with dreams or illusions, psychic abilities even, but also fantasy, where that lead to delusion. So where you have not been honest with yourself, and where that has led to a restriction in your expansion, and to feeling a sense of regret, sadness, I'm even getting a sense of betrayal here, but I think it's self-betrayal. Yeah. Judgment. Putting, casting judgment upon that, allowing yourself to, and I see, this is so interesting to me, how these two cards are without, they're both black and white. And we talked about the balance of black and white, and look at how each card has white at the top and black at the bottom. And we're not talking about this in right or wrong. It's just, it's a matter of energy and frequency here. And then with the moon, there is color in the moon, and there is color around the edge of the card. Just like the color in the sword and the King of Swords. Oh my gosh, why can't I do this? Mirrored image. It gets me every time. That's bad. Oh, well, there we go. So, this is being offered to you so that you can call judgment on that, so that you can rise above it. And this is card number 20. One card before the World card. The completion of a cycle. Completion. And interesting, we have 3, 4, this is 4, and 5. The moon is card 18, which adds up to 9, which is again the number before 10, which is it's the coming together at the end of a cycle. So the information revealed to you during this time is going to allow you to make these judgments, to act in your divine masculine energy, to remove those patterns of behavior, or remove yourself from situations that lead you to being in this energy. It's not, sometimes the changes that we need to make, or the information that we're given, lead us to making internal changes. And sometimes those changes, in order to stay within those internal changes, in order to support the internal changes we are moving towards, external things have to change as well. So if there are situations that are consistently putting you into this energy of the Five of Cups, of betraying yourself, of remorse, regret, even a sense of sadness or shame, these are the things that are being revealed to you now through these pockets, this education that's happening. And this is where we're being given the opportunity to step forward in our divine masculine energy and make those cuts. Remove those from our experience, so that we can stay in the energy of the Empress, the energy of not lack, the energy of abundance, the energy of, I know I am worthy of what it is that I desire. I know that this is coming to me. I have no doubt whatsoever. I have faith and complete trust in my path and my value, and in the divine to bring to me that which I desire. The action part of it that we talked about is then removing the blockages that keep you from being in an energetic match to those things. And how this plays out with Capricorn is that this may be in regards to, it feels like it's in regards to very physical things, things in your physical environment. Workplaces, places you may go, even groups of people, but I'm getting a sense if it is groups of people that it's in regards to groups of people where you feel too grounded, where you're not able to elevate for whatever reason, because of the energy within that group, that it restricts you from moving on your climb up on the mountain, so to speak. Okay, so we're talking about alchemy here. So we're going to give these, I love these cards. I have not, I still haven't quite figured out the best way to shuffle them, so bear with me, guys. They are such beautiful cards, though, and so powerful energetically. These are the Wild Unknown Alchemy cards by Kim Kranz. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot here in the black and white, and then the first cards that I drew were from the Elemental Oracle. Oh my gosh, I'm about to drop them. Oh, let's not do that. That might be the worst shuffling I've ever done. Sorry about that. All right, let's try this again. That direction seems to be better, but let me try it this direction one more time. Don't want to work. Yep, that's not going to happen. Sorry for the delay. Sorry. So much better. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Get that out of the way. Oh boy, Pluto, talk about transformation. All right. Guys, okay. We talked about Capricorn. Pluto is in Capricorn and is going to be going into Aquarius for the first time at the end of January. And then it'll go retrograde back in Capricorn at some point later next year for like half the year maybe. It's more than 3 months, I think. And then it goes direct again in like March 2025. So this is very much related to the themes that you're going to be revisiting when Pluto goes retrograde. Again, we're talking about retrogrades here. When Pluto goes retrograde next year. So we've got a preview. There's an invitation. Oh my gosh, we were just talking about Uranus. Look at that. Okay, we have Uranus. I love that word. It's so beautiful. And Pluton. so interesting that we get Pluto as we're on the cusp of the solstice here in the northern hemisphere, when we're talking about going into the shadow, going into the darkness, and then we have Uranus with the light. And look at the colors here. Wow. And we talked about Neptune too, didn't we, earlier? I'm still not sure which planet that is, but they're obviously both present here. So we have Neptune, Uranus, we have Pluto, we have Jupiter. All right, I'm going to show you the Pluto card. And then we have Uranus. I'm just struck by how we have, okay, first of all, Uranus is one of the ruling planets of Aquarius. So what I was just talking about with Pluto moving into Aquarius, Aquarius energy is very present here too with the Father of Swords. It's coming out in the Uranus card. So look at how we have the hands in both cards. Each coming from different angles. And Pluto is card number 10. There is going to be a transformation that occurs, and in order to move into this new state, there are things that are going to have to symbolically die in the process. And those are the things that we talked about with the Father of Swords, the things that need to be cut out so that you can move away from this Five of Cups energy and be fully into the Empress energy to receive that which you are working to magnetize towards you. And I feel like we have this opportunity now to really put this intention in place, to really glean this education from Mercury on how to communicate what it is that we are desiring to move towards, what we are desiring to bring into our physical with this Capricorn energy, and then bringing it out when Pluto moves into Aquarius in January, bringing this out into the collective, recognizing how our work, the things that we are, how we are expanding, how we are growing in our individual self, ripples out across the web of the collective, as well as bringing it out into the public eye. Taking it let me back up, taking it from what we've been doing on the internal and putting it into our physical world, into our groups, into our communities. Sorry, I had a moment. I was trying to get the words. Not that in that we're giving it away, but we're actually showing what we've done on the internal. In the external, we are sharing it, expressing it within our communities, within our groups, within our families. And I was trying to think, it seems like there's an aspect with Uranus coming up soon, but I can't remember what it is. But I feel like that this is also indicative of the Aquarius season and things that will then come to pass during that time frame, and they may be like bolts of lightning where things come together or something is struck down, even symbolically speaking, of course, because that is part of what you have magnetized towards yourself through this process, through this new understanding, this new education that's coming within these pockets and these elongated waveforms of the retrograde. Okay, guys, I hope that helped. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate your time, your attention, your openness to these messages. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. If you have not already, please, please, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you're notified when I post again. It certainly helps the channel to grow, for other people to see the information here, the messages. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, if it was helpful. And either way, I appreciate your presence and your support, and sending you so much love. And I will be back soon with a solstice reading. Thank you.